Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and this is my 4-year review of my Honda S2000. Now, if you follow the channel, we just had the 5-year review of my Porsche 911, my 2017 that I bought in 2020. I know a lot of you, including myself, said, how could 5 years have passed? Well, it seems like I bought this car yesterday, and I was actually going to film this as my 3-year review, and then I realized I bought this in February of 2021. Sorry, the planes are going through. I bought this in February of 2021. It's now June of 2025. So I've had this car over 4 years. Now, again, I'm filming this in 2025. So believe it or not, this car is an 04. So it is 21 years old. Does it look like a 21-year-old car? I say that all the time to people. I say, can you believe this car is 21 years old? That's insane. So it's got all 10 VIN tags. I did a video on that. I don't know what you'll see first. I show you where to find all 10. So everything is original. The paint's original. The panels are original. And there's no modifications. There's a K&N filter that the previous owner had, big deal, but otherwise it's stock. And I'm telling you, this is one of the most fun cars for the money. So this is my third S2000, all AP2s, because I just like the handling and the looks better. So the 9,000 RPM and the AP1 is a blast. It's a lot of fun, but I just prefer the look in the chassis of the AP2s. So the first one, I'll give you a little background. Before I had a YouTube channel, in 2014, so I've owned these cars for 11 years now, I used to autocross with my friend who had an S2000, also an AP2. Maybe that's why I like AP2s. And then in 2014, I decided to buy my own. So I like bright colors if you follow the channel. But back then I was buying by mileage because I found a 9,000 mile car with Sebring silver. Now, silver and gray, 40%, even though they made the S2000 from the year 2000 to 2009, 40% of S2000s are gray or silver. So I had a Sebring silver. Most of them have a black interior. This one had a black interior. Some of them have the black with the red. I bought it with 9,000 miles from a gentleman in the Philadelphia area, about 2 to 3 hours from my house in northern New Jersey. And it was a 81-year-old man, and he just couldn't drive it anymore. He was going to go into a retirement home, and he had bought that car new as a 70th birthday to himself. So in 11 years, he put on 9,000 miles, and it was fun. It was a blast. Went to a Cars and Coffee. I forgot what I paid for that car, but it was low, like 19,000. Went to a Cars and Coffee. Somebody said, I'll give you 24,000 for this car right now. And I said, okay, and I sold it. And then I'm like, wait, I sold it, but I had a 9,000 mile car. That was stupid. So the next year, I think it was 2015 or 2016, out in Illinois, again, I'm in New Jersey, at a Toyota dealer, I found a red 2006, so still AP2, not an 04, but an 06. And it had 11,000 miles on it, and they wanted a similar price, low 20s or something, so I bought it. Had that for a couple years. In 2017, I was unemployed, so I had to sell it. I sold that for a good profit, and I'm like, oh man, I lost a 9,000 mile S2000 and an 11,000 mile S2000. Now, they didn't have that mileage when I sold it, because I ran up a couple thousand miles, at least as much as I could. So when 2021 rolled around, just before prices went crazy, thank God, because prices went crazy in 2022. So 2021, they certainly weren't as cheap as 2020 when I bought the 911, but they were still very good. They were still pretty cheap. And I said, you know, this time I always wanted a yellow S2000 because when I would go to the New York Auto Show, Honda would usually have a yellow S2000. I had pictures of me sitting in it. So I said, you know what? Never had a yellow car. I think it looks great on this car. I am going to get a yellow S2000. So I searched the country and I found one in Florida. And my criteria was I wanted a car with about 30,000 miles so I could drive it. So I found, again, at a Toyota dealer. So the last two came from Toyota dealers. I think if they were at Honda dealers, tend to ask crazy prices, but not so much Toyota dealers. You know, maybe they don't know what they have. Maybe they just don't have a buyer for the car. So I found this with about 30,000 miles at a Toyota dealer in Florida. And I FaceTimed them, make sure it had all the 10 VIN tags. So I did a 10 VIN tag video with this car. And I also have another one. If I haven't, I don't know which one I'm going to post first. The birds love me here. Every single time I come, the bird barks at me. But anyway, so I have a video on the channel. I don't know if I posted the 10 VIN tags on this. If you don't see it with this yellow car, then I did one a long time ago in 2017 when I started the channel. And that says, watch this. It's Glenn's Car Collection. Watch this before you buy a Honda S2000. I show you where the 10 VIN tags are. So anytime, since one was driving distance from my house and the other two were, 1,000 miles away in different states, I always do a FaceTime call with the salesperson, and private owner could do this too, and show me where the 10 VIN tags are. And never ever do they have ever heard of 10 VIN tags or know what they are. But I tell them where they are. Open the hood, show me this, open the door, open the trunk, blah, blah, blah. So we see all 10 of them. So in all my search, and I must have looked, to buy those 3 cars, I probably looked at 20 or 30 S2000s. Those were the only 3 that had 10 VIN tags. So there may be a higher percentage of 10 VIN tags out there, but most of them have about 8 because something's been replaced. The bumper, the hood, the trunk lid, something's been replaced at some point. And depending which VIN tag it is, it's whether it's a big deal or not. So remember, when you buy them, if you're paying for an all original car and you're paying big money because you find a 10,000 mile or 20,000 mile car, better have all 10 VIN tags. Because if it's not, something happened, whether it was an accident or a bumper replacement, and it's not worth what you think it is. Vice versa, if you're buying a car with 8 VIN tags, I'm not saying not buy it. You can still buy it and have a lot of fun, but you can't pay a price for a car that's original paint with 10 VIN tags. It's going to be, could be, who knows, $10,000 difference. Low mileage, bring a trailer. You see these 5,000 mile cars selling for 90,000. Guess what? It better have all 10 VIN tags, otherwise you're screwed. All right, so what can I tell you about this car? So I found it down in Florida, did the FaceTime, came up to me. The tires were shot. The tires were original. So the tires were from 2004, I think, on this 2021 car. So the dealer said, well, we're going to sell it to you. I negotiated the price down, like really cheap price too, like $25,000. I would say they probably, now the value's a little higher, but say back then in 2021, so it was still coming out of COVID, these cars probably sold for low mileage like this, and yellow brings a premium just like Laguna Blue does. Sometimes white brings a premium because a lot of people like white because the Honda racing color. And I think they were asking 29, and I negotiated down to 25, and they said, the dealer said, oh, the tires are shot. There's literally chunks. They sent me pictures coming out of them. We're going to put on new tires. I said, great. And I said, uh-oh, what tires are they going to put on there? They're probably going to put on real cheap all seasons. I'd rather pay the difference to get the Michelin 4S's. So they said, what's the tire allowance? They said, well, we put on, for Ford, it's going to be $500. And again, they're going to put like the cheapest Sears tires there are. And I said, you know what? I said, Michelin 4S tires, which is what I want for this car, $900. I'll pay the difference. You pay $500, you'll pay $400. And I think they wound up paying it. I don't even think, or maybe I did pay that extra $400. But anyway, so I have the car shipped because it looked perfect in the FaceTime, in the pictures, and now I'm going to have new tires. I sent a truck enclosed. And I said, before you put this car in the truck, I want pictures that the Michelin tires are on the car. Because there could be an honest miscommunication between the sales department and the service department, and they just put on the cheap tires because that's what they do for all the cars they sell. And, then I paid for the 4S tires and never actually received them. So they sent me pictures. I'm like, great, fantastic. So I come back. A week goes by, a couple days, whatever it was. The car comes to my house, the car carrier, and they pull this off. And what I see is the car looks like it's wrapped the whole front end in some disgusting kind of wrap. So I've used this shipper before, and he's very good. He takes detailed pictures before putting it on the truck. And I said to him, did they wrap this car for shipping? And he's like, no. And I look closer, and it's an old Clear Bra from 2004, but it's all weathered and scratched up. Now, I'm not saying the dealer did this on purpose. I dealt with the internet person who's probably not a car person, and they had sent me, done the FaceTime and pictures, but I noticed when I looked at the pictures again that all the pictures of the front bumper and front hood were from far away. None of them were close up. And I had asked them when I did the FaceTime, besides the VIN tag, show me all the flaws, and they didn't show me that. They showed me a rock chip or two or something like that. So I'm like, oh my God. So it's not the end of the world to have a old Clear Bra, because I got the car cheap. I probably got the car for $5,000 less, but the problem is it could take the paint off. So if you have a Clear Bra done the right way on factory paint that's cured, you should probably be able to take that off. If you have, a lot of times dealers will repaint the bumper and then put the Clear Bra on, and now when that Clear Bra has to be removed 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, it's going to take the paint off because the paint didn't properly cure. So now I'm like, oh my God, I just spent, money's money. Even though I got this car at a discount, I had paid partially for new tires. I had paid for shipping. And I called the salesperson, who was kind of like the GM in the dealership, and he didn't respond. I guess his attitude was like, hey, you got a great deal, deal with it, kind of deal. So I felt like I got screwed. So the next day, I get an email, just a factory form email that probably gets sent out to everybody from the owner saying, hey, I heard you just bought a car from our Toyota dealer. How did the experience? So I showed him the emails that they're ignoring me. I showed him all the pictures they sent me, that the pictures of the hood was from a far view. And the guy actually responded. The owner of the dealership actually called me and said, no problem, I'm sorry this happened. My GM has been with me a long time. I don't think he would do this on purpose. Bring the car down this afternoon and I'll give you a full refund. And I said, okay. I said, I appreciate that. The only problem is I'm 1,000 miles north of New Jersey and I paid for half the tires on the car. Plus I paid for shipping. And he's like, customer satisfaction, is most important to me. He was a stand-up guy. He said, come, ship it back to me. I'll pay for everything. He said, or I'll give you money back to fix it, make it right. Do you know any professionals, and they had to be a professional, not a friend, who does the clear bras, the PPF for a living, that can remove the old one and install a new one, and he'll pay for it? And I said, yeah, I know a guy, a friend of mine who does that, who's a professional, who has a shop in Paramus. So we did that. I brought it to my friend, and he was great. He took his time, and he said, let me test if the paint's original to make sure this can even come off. And he did it, and it was original. He did a paint meter to the whole car. And he said, this clear bra's been on. It's 2021 now. This clear bra looks like it's original from 2004. We're going to have to take it off one piece at a time. And he kept the car for about 3 weeks. I said, take your time, no problem. And I think the estimate to fix it was like $1,500 or something like that, maybe even $1,300. So I told the dealer, he said, how much is it going to cost to fix? I said, well, it depends what's there. It could be $1,300, could be $1,500. So he said, all right, I'll send you a check for $1,500. Now, I thought it was going to cost a lot more to fix it, and I told my friend to take his time. So I didn't really care how long it took. If it took him a couple weeks, and I figured I'm never going to see that $1,500 check from the dealer anyway, right? So literally the next day, my doorbell rings, and I forget if it was FedEx or UPS, hands me a check for $1,500. He actually overnighted me the check. So kudos to the owner of the Toyota dealership. He did the right thing. My friend fixed it. It took about 3 weeks. He took his time. He did it when he could, because obviously he had other customers, and he didn't want to make those other customers wait for me. I said, no problem. More important to fix it. And he fixed it, and I think he did it for $1,300. So I gave him the whole $1,500 because I was so happy he saved my car. So he got rid of the old clear bra, put a new one on, and you can't tell the difference, and it looks fantastic. So now I went from a terrible looking car that actually looked its age, that looked 17 years old with a 17-year-old clear bra, to a 20-year-old car that looks brand new. So I'm crazy happy for that. So the only thing, let's talk about values really quick, and then we'll talk about any issues. So values now, I would say at the height of the market with 30-something thousand miles, this car was $35,000. Today it's probably like 30, 32, 33. The color brings a little extra money. It depends. Yellow's a love it or hate it color. You either love it and will pay more for it, or you hate it and won't even look at it. So yellow cars, believe it or not, Ferraris, you name the car. Dakar yellow on the E36 M3, the S2000 sell for more money. So I would say I'd ask 35 to see what happens. It's probably worth low 30s. Height of the market, it was probably worth mid to high 30s. I think these will be $50,000 cars. So I do say buy one with 10 VIN tags with original paint, AP1 or AP2. There's a lot more AP1s than AP2s, so AP2s tend to hold value better. I think the AP2 looks better, but obviously you get the 9,000 RPM for the AP1. Problems, I had the clutch for the air conditioning go out, so it basically burnt my belt, so I just needed a new compressor belt, and I think I did all the fluids, set of tires, which I only paid half for, and I put in a brand new battery when I got it. The original battery, somebody had like an on-off switch for it, and I think the switch that they had on it was bad. So a couple times I had a dead battery, so I said, you know what? Anytime I get a new car, I always change the battery. It's safe insurance. It's really easy to do here. So that's really the running cost. And oil changes at the Honda dealer are like $120. I take it to an Acura dealer where I take my NSX because I think they do a better job. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment what car you want me to review next. Hit the notification bell. You get Glenn's Car Collection 7 days a week, including YouTube Shorts. Take care.